Healthy Scratch Red Wings Report, presented by 5v5hockey.com.
Welcome to the Healthy Scratch Red Wings Report. Today, we start our player profiles from the 2022-2023 season. In this series, we're going to go through every single player on the Red Wings, go through number 1, their statistics throughout the season. Number 2, their advanced stats. Number 3, their contract situation. And number 4, where do they fit on this team going forward? I'll be the first one to admit I had an interesting relationship with Andrew Copp this year. Signed in the offseason to a big contract, 5 years, $5.6 million. I expected big things from Andrew Copp. When Yzerman signed him, I thought it was honestly a tap-in that the Red Wings would sign Andrew Copp. I liked the way he had played in Winnipeg and with the Rangers last season. And I thought he'd be a jack of all trades, a perfect complement to Larkin as a number 1 center. You got Copp number 2, and now you're cooking because you got a lot of depth. You finally have that number 2 center that we've been looking for a few seasons. And we have him going forward as well at a pretty decent cap hit. But boy, was I disappointed when, you look, he's played every single game, 82 games. He only scored 9 goals. He did have 33 assists, 42 points. He was a +2. So there's one of your positives for plus minus. He's one of the only few that were not negative. 25 penalty minutes, 1 power play goal, 1 shorthanded goal. Shooting percentage, 7.5%. Time on ice, 18 minutes and 9 seconds. Advanced stats, wins above replacement, 28th percentile. Not good. Now, this is where you see what type of player Andrew Copp was this year. Now, he's 28 years old, basically second line all year. And 28th percentile is not good, meaning that you could find a replacement level player to do basically the same things that he's doing for way less money. Even strength offense using the 48th percentile, so just very, very average. Even strength defense, this is where I was like, this is not acceptable. 37th percentile. For a guy that I thought that was going to be the second line, kind of like two-way guy, like that's what Andrew Copp was really like hailed as. It was like a two-way forward. He's really not good either way here. I mean, you look at even strength, he's not really that good. He's average offensively, below average defensively, which I thought he'd be above. Power play, he's 44th percentile. Again, it's something where that's the eye test as well. I don't think he's really a power play guy. I wouldn't put him out there next year. Penalty kill, here's where he is effective, 71st percentile. That's something that I liked when he was out there. Winning faceoffs, having a little bit of that grit. Finishing was very, very bad, 27th percentile. We talked about shooting percentage being 7%. That's very, very low, meaning that he's not scoring on the chances that he should be scoring. Andrew Copp is making $5.6 million for the next 4 seasons. And if we're going to get 2022, 2023 Andrew Copp for the rest of this, I don't know how this is going to go. I don't think that he's the second line center for the Red Wings going forward. I thought he was when he was signed, but just from the eye test, seeing how he doesn't really have that much foot speed. He's not going to beat a guy one-on-one. He doesn't have the greatest hands. He's not really hitting that many people. Do you see a theme here? He's kind of out there just being on the ice. And I know that some of these advanced statistics show, he's average, but the expectation is that you don't want an average player where you're almost paying him $6 million. If we were paying him $2 million a year for the next few years, I wouldn't mind it as much because I go, yeah, it's Andrew Copp. He's a third line, fourth line guy, but he's slotted in on the second line for the next 4 years. If it keeps going the way it's going, I think there has to be a way eventually where they have to get rid of that contract. And I don't know how they would do it. Obviously, Steve Yzerman, I would think that he wouldn't be too happy with the way or the results that Andrew Copp had this year. Derek Lalonde loved him. He played him in every single situation. But when you look at 1 power play goal, 1 shorthanded goal, that's not really that good. There are guys that are scoring on the power play, obviously, but he wasn't one of them. And he's being paraded out there a lot. When we look at his power play assists, he only had 4. So he only had 5 power play points, and he's being paraded out there every unit. So going forward, I think Andrew Copp needs to Show us a little bit more. 28 years old, you should be in your prime. I want to see a little more foot speed. I want to see more compete like I saw with the Jets and with the Rangers. I want to see more, body contact. Keep it up on the penalty kill. I don't want him on the power play. I think he's going to even slot in on the wing more often than not, and maybe not even be a centerman. Now, we're going to look at guys like Michael Rasmussen and Marco Kasper that might slot into those spots, even like Joe Veleno, like who can maybe bump him out of that spot. I had a little bit of a rocky start with Andrew Copp, but I'm willing to give him kind of another chance before he comes my Dan Cleary 2.0. They have an A on his chest. He's obviously respected in the room. He was a teammate of Larkin's at University of Michigan. Obviously, they know each other. So it seems like a really, really good fit. I hope it works out. I'm a fan of this team. I want Andrew Copp to be a lot better. I don't want more of the tweets of why is Copp on this team.